Hello, I am Professor Jim Cleary. I'm your instructor for the Math 1120 web course this semester. Um, a little about me. I started out here at CSM, except when I went here, it was Charles County Community College. Got my associate's degree in engineering, went on to West Virginia University, got my bachelor's of science in electronic engineering. Came out, went to work for the government, worked for the government 5 years, and got my master's in engineering from George Washington University. And then I went into private industry where I was a electronic design engineer for 23 years in private industry. And this is starting my 13th year at the College of Southern Maryland as a professor. So, as you are hopefully fully aware, this course is a digital access course, which means that you paid for access to the text when you enrolled in the class. And the hopefully you got an email from the bookstore, and there's an announcement there in the announcement sections explaining that about the opt out date and so forth. If you have any questions, you can contact Red Shelf or the bookstore. The My Math Lab access there, we use it for homework and quizzes, and also you have access to the text there online. So, a little bit about the course. Uh, College Algebra or Math 1120, we stress critical thinking, which means basically you are going to look at a math problem, determine how to do the problem, do the math, and then interpret what the math tells you, what the answer tells you. What does the question mean? When you answer a question, exactly what is it telling you? That's the difference between critical thinking and basic thinking, where basically in basic thinking, you just see the math and do the math and don't really understand the value of what the answer was you were able to get. Now, this is an action packed class. That means it's very busy, so you have to stay on top of it. So 65% of your grade is determined from proctored exams in the testing center. There's 10 modules, there's 5 1 week modules and 5 2 week modules. And some of the modules, there are additional resources listed, which are videos that I've put in there that are suggested that you can look at if you like. A lot of students use the videos from outside the course, which is fine. There's also videos in your My Math Lab shell if you want to take a look at that. So, as far as exams in the testing center, there's 2 exams and a final, which is comprehensive. And then for each exam, I will post suggested reviews, and the suggested reviews are odd problems in the textbook and the student solution manual in the My Math Lab content area. Has all the odd problems worked out. So if you need some help there with those, there's a formula sheet which will be attached to the exams in the testing center. There'll be announcements later on in the semester talking about the exams as we get a little bit closer. And then in the past, I've done face to face optional reviews where students can come in. I usually do these a Saturday before the module for the exam week. And students can come in for 2 or 3 hours and we can work on problems and the reviews. Again, I will post an announcement for that as we get a little bit closer to that. So make sure that you read the syllabus and understand the syllabus because the syllabus is a guideline for the class. There's also a syllabus quiz that all the answers to the syllabus quiz are in the syllabus, so you can read through there, take the syllabus quiz. That is one of your quiz grades for the class. So make sure you take time to go through the syllabus and read everything that's in there. So, okay, let's talk a little bit about avenues to success. So, one thing you want to make sure that you do there is you want to take a look at the FAQ or frequently asked questions. That will answer some of the questions that you may have, and then make sure you read the weekly participation guidelines. So, that's what is expected and the guidelines you can follow to get to success in the class. Now, the each campus has a math resource center where there's tutors in there. You can go on the college website there and look at the math resource. Type in math resource center, and it give you the campuses and what hours they have. There's some very good tutors in there, and there's a lot of help. They're in there a lot. availability is quite a bit there, especially in the La Plata campus. So again, if you're struggling and you need some help, there's an avenue for success. And also, the college has a smart thinking tutoring. Again, you can go on the website, type in smart thinking, it'll take you how to go into that. It's free. It's part of your tuition. It's paid for that. It's pretty good. Students use it, and what that is it gives you access to a tutor 24/7. So if you have a question at 2 o'clock in the morning, you can use a smart tutor, and usually you get a response. You get a response pretty quick. So as far as the time for the class and the weekly guidelines there, it puts out some suggestions there or some guidelines that you need to calculate into your time schedule each week. But basically, for each day in this semester, during the duration of this course, you're going to be faced with a choice. And that choice is going to be you can make progress today or you can make excuses today, but you can't do both. So each day you're going to ask yourself that question, and depending on the response or your actions taken from that question, will have a lot to do with your success rate in the class. Okay, so there'll be announcements. There's usually at least one each week. A lot of weeks there's a lot more than one. So you should log in at least 3 times, preferably more, but at least 3 times a week. And make sure you read all the announcements in their entirety because there's a lot of information in there. The announcements are basically in there to keep you aware of what's going on and help you throughout the semester. So the syllabus is there. There's also in the course calendar. There's a little calendar there when you log into your shell there on the right that kind of tells you what's due that week for the module. Okay, there's discussion boards. There was 15% of your grade, and this particular semester, we have required students to start using the A Math editor. The My Learning has a math editor. You just click on the 3 dots there to the right, and then pick the summation sign, put in your math equation, and then hit submit, and it puts it into your discussion post. Because students, this is a college level class, students need to be able to communicate effectively in writing as well as being able to actually do the math correctly. For discussion modules 2 through 8, there's a rubric. That rubric is listed for each one of the modules there. So take a look at the rubric before you attempt the discussion for that module, because that's how the grade will be determined for that particular discussion. And then you'll be required to respond to 2 of your fellow learners, students in the class. Now you need to make your initial post by Saturday night at 11:59, and then you'll have till Monday night 11:59 to respond to 2 students. You need to go ahead and do that because a lot of times you can learn from other students' posts. And what I would suggest is if you pick one of the questions, make sure you read responses from one of the other questions. That way you help to understand and learn a little bit more about the material. And then make sure when the module closes and the grades are posted that you go back and read my comments to your submission, because that'll help you with your next post. Plus, it'll point out some things that you need to gain from the material in order to be successful in the homework, quizzes, and exams. So new this semester, we have a Q&A discussion board, which you will not get a grade for. It is optional. And what that's there is for places if you have questions about what's in the module, material in the module, or whatever. You can post a question, and students are encouraged to look at those and respond to those if you can. And then if nobody has responded to a question within 24, 48 hours, I'll try to put a response in to answer your question. But basically, it's in there for student-to-student communication. And again, also, students are going to be on at varying times of the day, so you may be able to get an answer quicker or a little help with a question quicker from student to student than you would waiting for me to make a response to your question. And then also new this semester, there's a Zoom room. So certain times throughout the semester, I'll put out an announcement, hey, on this date, I'm going to be in the Zoom room from these hours. And you can just click on the Zoom room and join us in the Zoom room, and we could ask questions. You could talk about things, and then sometimes if you have an email question, if you email me a question in My Learning, and it's regular complicated and it's hard to respond, and I'll tell you, hey, meet me in the Zoom room at a certain time. You can go in the Zoom room, and you and I can resolve whatever the issue you have here. And then you see in my office here, I have a uh, whiteboard. So if we need to work some problems or something, that we can do that. So I hope this introduction has helped you, and get started on the class as soon as possible, and log in at least 3 times a week. I would suggest doing homework 4 or 5 days a week. Don't wait until Monday night to start on the homework, quizzes, and discussion board, because that's not the best avenues to succeed in the class. So good luck, and I'll see you during the semester.